What's up everybody? Today we're playing some Sephiroth Energy. We are trying to see if Sephiroth will be able to improve modern spec deck even further. We have the casual usual energy shell, Guide of Souls, Ocelot, Ragavan, Goblin Bombardment, Ajani and some Flages. Now we're only playing 3 Flages because I wanted to make some cuts somewhere, because we're playing 3 Sephiroth as our card of advantage card today. No Seasoned Pyromancer, no Fable of the Mirror Breaker. We're trying to see if a bit more Goblin Bombardment value, trying to flip Sephiroth, will be able to kill our opponent, or if maybe just the card draw itself will be enough. Now for those who don't know, when Sephiroth enters our attacks, we may sacrifice a creature, and if we do, we draw a card. And also he has the ability that when another creature dies from both players, Sephiroth will drain them for 1, and if that triggers the 4th time in a turn, Sephiroth flips into a 5/5 Flying Angel, and he's the second creature that makes an emblem, because when he transforms he also makes an emblem that does exactly that, the Blood Artist emblem. If we get to the point of creating the emblem, the game is over, we just win, it's GG. And he also has the ability that when he attacks we may sacrifice any number of creatures, and if we do, we draw that many cards. So we're counting on him being able to sacrifice some small dogs, for example token from Ocelot Pride, token from Ajani, token from Voice of Victory, but also token from Orcish Bowmasters. And we are hopefully also able to flip him rather quickly using our Goblin Bombardment and sacrificing our token. We'll see how it goes. We're not playing any Galvanic Discharges right now because we're playing the black and I want to lean in a bit more on it. So we're playing Fake Push instead because I expect to see some frogs maybe, and I want to make sure that we get them. Also no Static Prisons right now, instead we're playing 2 Swords in the main. Looking at our sideboard, we do have 2 Dreams of Steel and Oil, for example against the mirror, so we get rid of opponent's Flages, Graveyard Trespassers to keep our opponent's graveyard clean and be a decent threat. Vindicates against opposing land strategies, and maybe also to remove some other things. Wear-Tear against artifacts and enchantments, Wrath of the Skies for the mirror and small artifacts. Clarion Conqueror against stuff with planeswalkers and activated abilities on artifacts. High Noon against Storm and Prowess. Orm's Chant against Storm, and Night Spellbomb to nuke a graveyard. So let's just jump right into the game and let's see if Sephiroth is able to improve the best deck in Modern. Action number 1, we are playing questionable mana bases, trying Sephiroth and Boros Mardu Energy actually, and even though our mana base looks kinda bad, still an absolute keep. We have a Payhead push, we have Bowmasters after, and we have Sephiroth to see if he can improve the best deck even more. And you can see right behind me, I did a thing. I figured out a way to remove the background. Now we'll have seasonal, depending on the set, backgrounds for me. And the camera is also a bit more zoomed in, so it's not so much space around me. And the best thing, let's just get through the turn. It doesn't do it. The camera follows me. Wow, it's magic. Now let's keep on playing. We could play the Arena of Glory to next turn play a Bowmaster and a Ragavan, but I'll just run out the swamp to have Bowmaster up, and I'll hope I just top deck an untapped land to play Sephiroth next turn to sacrifice the Bowmaster token and draw a card hopefully. And if we don't, we just have a second Bowmaster. Not the best card in this matchup, but what do you do? Opponent plays a 3rd land drop, no Ketramose or anything, but it's just a run out Bowmaster boy number 1 and ping our opponent. Will our Bowmaster be Bowmastered? We don't know. We draw land. So now let's try our new spice. Let's grab a Blood Crypt, so we have multiple black for Bowmaster plus Fatal Push, and we have a mount for the Ragavan, the Arena of Glory. We have a Reader. Let's sacrifice our army. We draw a Bombardment. That's absolutely perfect. And opponents flashes in a Solitude. Do they also have the Ephemerate? That would be annoying to say the least. They do also have the Ephemerate. That's annoying, but that's still absolutely manageable because Bowmaster with a Bombardment gets rid of Solitude really easily. And they are down to 2 cards. They also have a Failure. Next turn, we're lucky we have all the removals. We're just hoping our opponent doesn't have an Overlord as well. That would absolutely suck. If they also have an Overlord, they probably snowball out of control. Seems like they don't. Do they flicker the Solitude to grow the Failure, or do they not? They don't. They really value the 3 damage, I guess. And we draw another Sephiroth. Because I can't borrow them yet. I had to buy those. But I hope they will be worth it. Now, let's just run out the bombardment. And I will just cast Ragavan as it is and keep up Fatal Push on the Thalia. Could have dashed in Ragavan, but that would have been pretty soft to much any interaction. I just want to make sure I can get rid of Thalia in case they have an Overlord. Now let's just push Thalia. They don't get to reset their Solitude to exile our monkey. Do they have a second Ephemerate? They don't. And will they attack? They won't. Second Boggart Borg, untapped. What did they have? Liliana the Last Hope in the main deck. Holy shit, what year is this? We have Modern Horizons cards. Okay, we have Modern Horizons cards, but they are playing Liliana the Last Hope. Okay, I mean, she's really got to the spot, but I am still hella confused, especially because they're shocked in this Boggart. They must have something else going on. Now, let's Bowmaster. I think I'll ping the Solitude, or do I have to ping the Liliana? I think I might have to ping the Liliana, because otherwise they just buy back the Solitude. And I definitely misstepped. I wanted to also play Ocelot. GG's. Guess, let's see what they got. If they don't do anything, I'll have to sacrifice my entire board into it, because I tapped stupid. Yikes. 1, 2. Definitely would have liked to have Ocelot in play right there, to sacrifice a token to Sephiroth. Can't have everything when you tap wrong. Everybody, turn off your auto-tapper on Magic Online, because that's definitely where the auto-tapping happens. Now we could dash in Sephiroth. Do have the Guide of Souls. Let's play the Guide of Souls and let's just play Sephiroth normally. If they do have removal, they get rid of the Guide and response, we're fine with that, because it means Sephiroth might stick. And if they don't have a removal right here, we are in a decent position. They do have 2 cards in hand, did not play anything, so they might have another Solitude, I'd assume, or just a Fatal Push that they have not used. Do I sacrifice this Guide of Souls to draw a card? I don't think I will. I think I really like this guide right now. And they flash in another Thalia now. That's annoying. Could sacrifice both our creatures to get rid of their threats, but I think I'll just let them flicker their Solitude if they want, eat the Thalia with this Sephiroth, and then they Solitude away one of our creatures. Yep, that's what happens. Let's just block the dog, and they have an Ephemerate. Do I have to respond here? Right now I definitely don't. I still have a bit more time to think about what I do, because the Solitude will come back either way. And do they try to get rid of Guide of Souls or Sephiroth? I want to get rid of Sephiroth. Play Ocelot next turn, we make 2 cats and we can just kill the Solitude like that. We maybe draw something else. So let's just ping them. And let's move to our turn. Draw land, let's surveil. We don't have the mana to escape a Flate right now, which is unfortunate. We find a Bowmaster. I do like myself some Bowmasters in this spot. At the very least some good fodder to start shooting their stuff. And now we make cats. Surveils. They are playing Esper. They got rid of Hallowed Fountain. Now the question is if it's only for sideboard or also for main deck. And also we have to think right here if we want to get rid of our Guide of Souls or also Love Pride. Prevent them from getting back that Solitude. I think I'll actually prefer keeping the Guide of Souls, because we have the Bowmasters to start snowballing with our also a bit more, even though we do have the free energy to start buffing our creatures. As with Bowmaster, picking something, sacrificing the token, we can get rid of the Thalia, and the Ocelot will start making multiple token. Unfortunate that we were 1 permanent off of having City Splitting right there. They don't attack us. Just swing in with Ocelot and see if they take the block. If they do, we can just use Bowmaster damage to kill the dog. First strike damage and flash in the Bowmasters. Kill the dog. Nice. And now end of turn we get City's Blessing. For anybody wondering why we don't have another Orc army, if you're new around here, the army token is 0/0. Just get the marks, the +1/+1 counters because of MS. And they scoop it up. Okay. I take that scoop. Not sideboarding. Sideboarding against black-white flicker. Now they appear to be Esper, but maybe it's just for consign in the board because they milled their land and they didn't fetch something blue earlier on. So I think I'll take the Vindicates to get rid of their bigger stuff and to be a bit flexible with my removal. Ragavan doesn't seem too good because they will also play Bowmasters and such, so I'm not sure the monkey will connect. Camera, where I'm moving over there, a bit more to me. There you go. Swordseize is okay, but I think Dream of Steel and Dawn might just be better, but the question is if we maybe want both of them. I think we can also shave on Bowmasters because we don't yet know if they are playing Ketramose and we can really punish card draw if they just pick up cards with their overlords. Or maybe Bowmaster doesn't really do anything, it's just bodies for Sephiroth. But let's try it like this. On to game number 2. Game number 2, Ajani and Sephiroth to flip Ajani. Obnixil is at home. If Sephiroth was also red, this would be actually nuts, and I would be certain that Sephiroth will improve this deck. But because it doesn't make Ajani's zero loyalty ability deal damage, I'm not sure. But this hand still looks like a keep. We also have Flage to grind more, and 2 Ajanis can never be too bad. So let's see what our opponent has. Maybe they have a discard spell. Discard spell. I won't cut this out. You have to suffer through this. And they just play Tap Bog. So no discard spell turn 1, but we find one. So let's grab a Godless Shrine and see what our opponent's got. Emperor of Bones, Orcish Bowmasters, and some removal spells. Oh, we don't really care about the Bowmaster right here. Let's just get rid of the Emperor of Bones, so they won't clear out our graveyard for our Flage. And those removal spells definitely can be played around. Opponent just played their March Flat, so they have Bowmaster and Fatal Push Up. I'll just deal some more damage to myself, grab a Sacred Foundry, and run out Ajani. And they probably just push him. Maybe they use the Bowmaster to kill the cat, flip our Ajani, and we still get to use the loyalty ability because they do it in the main phase. They go to the end step. And they grab a Surveillance, so they will just push it. Damn, no huge misplays here. And they mill a Relic, so they are playing Ketramose as well. So they are most likely just an Esper variant, also Psychic Frog, and that's maybe why they scooped the last game. Maybe they just put Psychic Frogs and they didn't have blue mana. Play their 3rd land that we know about. And they mill Ketramose. Interesting. Now they did not push our Ajani and they just have their Bowmasters up. So let's play Bloodstained my hand, I think. We could do multiple things here. We could play Sephiroth and try to flip Ajani. We could first move combat, attack with the cat. That's probably safe either way, no matter what we do. Play a second Ajani, they can just fatal push it. And we only have the token left. Yeah, I think I like just attacking with the cat warrior. And now let's run out Sephiroth, sacrifice our cat and try to flip Ajani. And they push Ajani. That's totally fine. We still deal some damage to them with Sephiroth. It's pretty sweet. No flip Wrath, and we draw another land. That's also okay. Now they do have this Wrath of the Skies that's there, I guess. They have their Bowmasters. Bowmasters could be somewhat annoying if we attack with Sephiroth and try to draw more cards. Now they grab a tap land, not even a survey land. They just wanted to get Revolt, push our Sephiroth as well. Okay, 1 unknown left in the hand, and this looks like an easy Ajani flip, I think. Flipped Ajani also plays around Wrath of the Sky, so me gusta. I like that. Cat Warrior number 1. Opponent is thinking about stuff. I don't know what they're thinking about. Ajani resolves. And Ajani number 2, or 3 should I say. Ajani is such a messed up card because he's good in multiples as a legend. Defying the basic principles of the legend rule is nutty, to say the least. Well, it's up to Ajani, so they'll have to use their Bowmaster now to get rid of one of our cat warriors and to have Ajani safe from any shenanigans except for something like a Skyclef apparition. But if there's a Skyclef apparition Ajani, well, there's no real playing around that, so that would just happen. And they do flash in their Bowmasters, and do they see the line of getting rid of a Cat Warrior? No, they actually just ping a Ajani. Interesting. Now, we know they have the Wrath of the Skies, they can execute one that to get rid of our Cat token, but they need a second Bowmaster to also get rid of Ajani. If they do have a second Bowmaster, that's okay. I mean, they can ping Ajani as well and attack with their token. They can't. They will have to sacrifice their Orc army. Doesn't even work with a second Bowmaster. Nah, that just seemed bad. Yeah, they think so too. Okay, nice. On to the next match, I guess. Match number 2, trying this guy right here in Mardu Energy and seeing if he can improve on the best deck. We won the die roll, and our hand looks great. Absolute snap keep, Ragavan into Ajani Bombardment and push. Perfect, just perfect. No Sephiroth here to test if he's good, but so far, didn't hate him. Seemed absolutely fine, seemed like a reasonable card, and we have not really had any ability to show him off at all. Didn't have him in play with Bombardment and multiple tokens yet, so maybe he will be real good. Let's see. Opponent plays a basic Mountain and a Marauding Mako, so they are on some sort of Hollowvine build. I definitely want to just get rid of that Mako before it gets nutty, and that also means that our Ragavan will connect and we get to play something else. We exile a Vengevine, oh, so it's probably a mono-red build. Let's just run out the Bombardment for now, so next turn we can play Ajani with Bombardment up. Hopefully we'll be able to answer most things. They are not a mono-red build, in fact. They do just chock in a Blood Crypt and play a Burning Inquiry, and they get rid of our Ajani. That's unfortunate. And they discard a Blazing Root Valor and 2 Detective Phoenixes. Oh, that are some good hits. There is a second Burning Inquiry. And now they also get rid of 1 Guide of Souls and a Ragavan, and we only have a Guide of Souls left. Yikes, they discard a third Burning Inquiry and a Bowmaster. And a second Blazing Root Valor. Or Blazing Root Valor, kind of good at blocking Ragavan, I guess. Let's just grab a White Source and run out our 2 Guide of Souls. And I don't think there is any need in attacking with this Ragavan. Let's just stay back and hope we just draw another creature next turn, so we can give our Ragavan flying to start connecting again. Opponent plays an Arena of Glory and a Goblin Lore. They are looting, and they discard a Vengevine and a Faceless looting. Fitting. Probably going to flashback Detective's Phoenix. Yep, that's the Phoenix on a Root Valor. Just let that happen and take the hit if they attack, and if they don't, that's also fine. They don't attack. We just play a land and keep it up to grab a Surveil. Opponent has a Vengevine in the yard and a Detective's Phoenix, so they are pretty set. There's a Marauding Mako. They don't have the CMC in the grave to bestow a Phoenix right now, but they cast another Goblin Lore, and this Mako would grow immensely. I think I have to get rid of that. And they have a Hollowvine to also get back a Vengevine. That's annoying. And they could also bestow something with a Phoenix. They don't. I am glad they don't. I think I just have to take the hit and hope that we draw something good. And there's a Flame Pit. At best case would of course be milling a Flage right here. So let's hope we can do something like that. That's a fatal push. Would not really do too much. Just get rid of that. We need a good creature to gain some life. Bowmaster is not too bad. I don't hate that. Especially if they go for another loot effect. So let's just stay back, and if they loot again, our Bowmaster might do some work. You know you want to flashback your looting opponent. That looks just... that's just a Detective's Phoenix, so we have to run out our Bowmaster now. Let's choose the Root Valor. At the very least, that's pretty good life gain. Opponent just swings in. They can activate the Root Valor to 5, so we definitely have to block some things. I think our only way of winning is top decking something good right now, so I will risk going to 1. And so that means we are dead to a Bowmaster. That's a risk I'm willing to take, because I think we have to keep the Bowmaster in play so they can't just loot more. And we fight an Ocelot. That's good. That might be able to do enough. More good life gain and loads of chump blockers. But I'm not sure we will survive this turn. If we do, that would be great, because double buffing this Ocelot Pride to get lots of life with a lifelink would be insane. We are only at 7, and they do have 7 damage in the air, so we have to at least shoot this Phoenix. But that looks absolutely doable because we can just... These two, they only swing with these. So let's just shoot the Phoenix with our cat token. And now we will go to 2 life. They did not have a Bowmaster the turn before. And Bowmaster also won't be lead. They wouldn't need a lightning bolt that they must have top decked this turn. That's just a marauding Mako. That doesn't really matter. And now our Ocelot Pride will be able to absolutely turn this game around. Unless they have a fatal push, but if they do, they probably should have just used that before. Let's buff the living hell out of our Ocelot Pride, hit our opponent for 5 with lifelink, and they scoop it up. Nice. On to sideboarding. Sideboarding against Hollowvine. Now that's a doozy. I do like Graveyard Trespasser to answer their Phoenixes. I do like Spellbomb to keep the grave clean from Phoenixes and Vengevine, and Dreams of Steel and Oil also sound like a really sweet card. Ragavan probably won't really do too much, so that's an easy shave. Orcish Bowmaster obviously will be an absolute MVP. Now the question is there anything else we would like to bring in? High Noon could actually really mess with them. I think I will bring in the 1 High Noon over 1 Voice of Victory. On to the next game. Game number 2, our mana base is sketchy, should have built it better, but we do have Ocelot Pride with Goblin Bombardment, so I will keep, and maybe they will just cast Burning Inquiry and nothing matters, so we'll see what happens. But Ocelot Pride into Goblin Bombardment just sounds like a too important thing we can do. Opponent grabs a Survey land and mills a land. Now hoping they don't have a Bowmaster that we can't answer. Because if they play a Bowmaster now to kill our Ocelot Pride and have Burning Inquiries afterwards, that would hurt a lot. That's only a Faithless Looting, we can deal with that. They discard a Blazing Root Vala and a Detective's Phoenix, and now they cast a Burning Inquiry. And we just discard 2 Ajani, didn't even have a single chance of playing them. They also discarded a Street Wraith afterwards. Let's hit them with the Ocelot. And I don't want them to have a shot of reanimating one of their Phoenixes, so I'll just get rid of the Root Vala right now. So there's no creature on board. We're just trying to keep it clean. There's a Mako, 3rd land, and a Burning Inquiry. I will just keep it up, because I think we have to protect our Ocelot Pride, and we just draw Fatal Push and Black Lands. That's great. Now they will probably put a Detective's Phoenix on it, so it will hurt us a lot, but only once. We take a hit for 6, but they are down to 2 cards. And we draw on a Guide of Souls. That's a sweet pickup. Let's hit our opponent with the Ocelot Pride. Make ourselves some cats. And now we pass a turn. The opponent tries to go more all in on the Mako. We do have a Fatal Push, so we are safe right now. And they just flash back a looting, sure. Now they discard a Vengevine. It's kind of annoying. Do they put another Phoenix on the Mako? That's the 2nd Phoenix on the Mako. We'll let that resolve, and once they go to combat, let's grab a Swamp and push the Mako. And next turn looks like an absolutely disgusting turn with Sephiroth, if I do say so myself. Or they just scoop it up. Couldn't even get the Sephiroth off, but right here we would have been able to get City's Blessing with the land drop and the Sephiroth, made some tokens, flip Sephiroth end of turn, and been absolutely devastating with it. So, on to the next match. Match number 3, we won another die roll, so we will go first. And that looks absolutely perfect, we will keep. Now hopefully we will be able to just every of our creatures survive, so let's grab a Sacred Foundry, run out the Ocelot Pride, hope we can play Ajani next turn, and then top it off with Sephiroth. That would be so sweet, opponent. Please let us do our thing. Opponent has an Arid Mesa into a Sacred Foundry, so it might just be the mirror. That's a discharge. It probably is the mirror. Won't make it easy for us. Let's grab a Godless Shrine. And let's just run out Ajani. Sephiroth also pretty sweet against the Polvin Goblin Bombardments. I just realized. because he does trigger from both sides. So if any other creature dies, he triggers. So somewhat of a similar effect to Mituk Massacre. And they just play the Ocelot Pride. Let's shock in another Godless Shrine to Swordseize them and play Bowmaster on the Ocelot. There's a couple of Thraben Charms, an Ajani and another Ultima. Let's get rid of the Ajani. We could just flip our Ajani right now. Also don't hate that. They do have a second Ocelot Pride here. If we make more cards, they will just be able to gain life. Let's just stay safe. And let's get rid of the Ocelot. Or, I think I actually like getting rid of the cat and flipping Ajani. Because that means we have a steady stream of token for... Yeah, that just happened. Okay. That means we have a steady stream of token for Sephiroth. Opponent grabs an elegant parlor of Samarfet and its planes. They run out their glory. They have a second Ocelot Pride. And they attack Ajani. I will go for the double block, so they have to use Thraben Charm to protect the Ocelot. Would have loved to have another blocker right here, can't tell you that. Or an uptick Ajani, which would be able to just board wipe everything, but can't have everything, I suppose. Opponent will be able to go wide. Let's surveil. I will keep a Fatal Push. Select Cat, run out Sephiroth, and let's draw a card, I suppose. They will be able to get rid of our Ajani, which is hella annoying, and they will make tons of tokens, which is not what was supposed to happen, but it is what it is, because they just Thraben Charm away our Sephiroth and hit our Ajani. Yep. And they even have a land drop to get their City's Blessing. So we're probably just dead. Definitely need to hit Flage ASAP. If we do it Fledge now and they don't have one, they have a third also, right? Oh no. We absolutely have to Fledge to stabilize, get rid of something and escape her after. Second Fatal Push, so we are just dead. Nice. Okay. On to sideboarding. Sideboarding against Boros Energy. Let's bring in Wrath of the Skies. Let's bring Dreams of Steel and Isles, the Graveyard Trespasser, Spellbomb, and Wear Tears. And let's get rid of Ragavan and Swordseize. One more cut to make. What shall it be? I suppose it might just be one Voice of Victory. Yeah, look good. On to the next game. Game number 2. We are on the play. We have Orcish Bowmaster, Dreams and Wrath. I do like the sand. Bombardment with Flage, also looking pretty sweet to get rid of some things. Definitely will keep Ajani because we have Bombardment already. Let's see if our opponent has a turn 1 play. If it's just an Ocelot, I will run out the Bowmaster for anything else. It's not there. It's just a Guide of Souls. We'll just run out the Goblin Bombardment. The next turn we have Ajani with Bombardment. And if we draw land, we can maybe get rid of more things with our Flage. Opponent plays multiple 1-drops, we can for Wrath. Just plays an Arena of Glory and attacks us. There has to be something. There is a Voice of Victory. Now that's a good card. And I'm kinda bummed I don't have a great answer for it. But we do have Ajani to get rid of one thing at the very least. And I will definitely get rid of that thing, because that's the Guide of Souls. Let's kill the Guide. And let's hope we draw some lands next turns. Opponent plays an Arid Mesa and runs out a Celestial Purge on our Bombardment. That's actually not too bad. He could have gotten rid of Ajani as well. We'll probably attack it with the Voice and the token. We have to block one of the token, even though that's not the best thing. Means we get to protect our Ajani, so absolutely take it. And if we just draw land for Flage, we'll be able to get rid of the Voice. It would also be huge, and they plan Ocelot Pride. Luckily enough, no life gain before, and we find a land. Perfect. So let's grab a Blood Crypt, so we could also double spell with the Bowmasters. But I'll just get rid of... Do I get rid of the Voice? Ocelot Pride. I think I have to get rid of the Voice, so I can uptick Ajani and protect him potentially. Yeah, let's do that. We also do have the Wrath of the Skies already to stop them from going too crazy with Ocelot token. And for now, their board is pretty ample, so there shouldn't be something too bad happening. Opponent plays a second Ocelot Pride again. Is there a third one again? Ajani. Now that's annoying. That basically means we have to draw land for big Wrath of the Skies. But if we do, that probably wraps up the game because they just went so all in. We do draw land, so let's just go for a big Wrath. Wrath X equals 2, and that's probably game. Opponent is reset down to nothing. And we do have Dreams of Steel and Oil to get rid of Blade if they find one. Let's just uptick Ajani once more, so he's safe from shenanigans. They could still discharge it if they use their leftover energy, but that's it. That would just happen. That way it won't be killed by the front side of a Flage. Opponent commits a static prison, plays the land, surveils and looks for another Flage. Doesn't find one. That's great. Let's see what our opponent's got. They just have a land. Let's just exile a Voice of Victory right here. Okay. And let's just escape our Flage. Get this over with quickly. We're just going through the motions right now. Don't know if there's a top deck our opponent could have that wins, that gets them back, because they don't have any more surveillance. So on to game number 3. No changes to sideboarding. I'll just keep everything as it is. So let's run it back. Game number 3, playing against Boros Energy. Now we're only really weak to crazy good 1-drops. That's a keep. We have Wrath of the Skies again to wipe stuff if they overextend. We have Flage as late game insurance and a good removal spell, and we have Ajani to bridge the way in between and a Weretear to get rid of the Goblin Bombardment. They have a Ragavan. They keep Ragavan in the mirror. I hate that personally, but now I have to live with it. And in this situation, it's really good. So we also have to mill Ajani because if they would hit Ajani off this Ragavan, we would just die. That would just be way too good. And they just hit a Marsh Flats now. That's fine. Can absolutely live with that. They tap land, that's Elegant Parlor, keep the card on top, and they run out a Guide of Souls, so they keep that pressure up. I don't hate that. One issue with Wrath of the Sky in this list, because we play Fatal Push, is that we don't have Galvanic Discharge to have excess energy as reliable. There's a Guide of Souls. I actually kind of appreciate that, because that means that next turn our Wrath of the Skies will be absolutely sweet. Just to run out Ajani. Worst case, they have an Ajani of their own, I think. I don't really think there's anything else that would be too bad. Haste Arena of Glory, is it just a Voice of Victory? Yep. Now that sucks for now. We get hit hard right here. And we won't be able to clear the Voice. Maybe they even buff the Voice with the guides, which would be pretty annoying. That would actually suck. But we still have the Wrath of the Sky to clear everything else, so they're just left with the Voice of Victory. Probably just buff both. They only attack with the Ragavan. It appears that our opponent doesn't know that they can buff Voice of Victory if they stack the triggers correctly. They exile one of our Flages. Annoying, but oh well. So let's just grab a mountain and let's Wrath X1. Get rid of 3 of their 1-drops and even flip our Ajani. It's just uptick, so they have to use a removal. And because they didn't buff their Voice of Victory, our Flage next turn will remove Voice. Now, if you don't know what they should have done, if you stack it so that they create their token before the Guide of Souls buff trigger goes on the stack, they already make the energy because the token enter, and then they can use that energy to buff with the guide. So if you trigger the guide first and then put the Voice of Victory trigger above it, you get to make the token and buff, which is why it was good for them to exert the Arena of Glory had they just gone for the play. Opponent has an Ajani. The question right here is, do we have to answer the Ajani now, or do we just kill the Voice? I think I like getting rid of the Ajani for now, even though that means our Ajani will die. Because if they have a Goblin Bombardment or something like that, that might go out of hand. Let's just get rid of Ajani for now. Even though we do have Weretear for that, so maybe that was bad. We can still make a cat. Could have also played a Bombardment right there, but I think I like just getting the Flage in the graveyard so we can grab a Surveillant and escape Flage next turn. Then attack and kill our Ajani. Just everything goes at him. First goes for Ajani, Warrior 1 goes into my fat. The Warriors attack my face. Voice attacks Ajani. Yes, Ajani goes to 1. Now opponent is doing same stupid shit as we did earlier. There's a Flage, so if they intend to shoot our Ajani, why didn't they do so before? The problem is they have Arena of Glory, which we don't. they will be able to answer our Flage with their Flage. Grab an Elegant Power, get a second red source, and we find an Arena of Glory. I will keep that, and that means that we can just play Bombardment and Flage. Keep this one ready to get rid of their stuff with our Arena of Glory. And now our Flage will be able to remove both their creatures by dealing 3 to it with its ETB and by sacrificing it with the Bombardment to kill the Cat Warrior. And now it's basically high noon, and whoever shoots first will get shot, but we have to stay back because Flage Escape still deals 12 damage. So I don't want to die to some random bullshit, like if there's a land drop and a Ragavine Escape. Opponent exerts Arena of Glory for a Voice of Victory. That's totally cool with me. That means there's no exert Arena of Glory next turn, so let's just take the hit, and now I will just exert Arena for my Flage. That's totally fine with me, because it still gives us one more turn, and we do find a Fatal Push to get rid of their Flage instant speed. That's maybe the best thing we could have drawn, because that means even if they do have another Arena of Glory, we are safe. So we run out our Flage with their Voice of Victory, and now we can just hit them. And if we hit them hard. 3 at your face. And the best thing about this Cat Warrior token is that we can just sacrifice it to the Bombardment to have Revolt for our Fatal Push. We don't even have to do something annoying and sacrifice our Flage. They have the backup Arena of Glory. I would probably try to shoot our Flage now. Do they shoot our Flage and try to remove it? They do. So let's just shoot our opponent with the Cat Warrior, and let's Fatal Push their Flages before they can do anything else. Nice. Here we have an upside for Fatal Push over Galvanic Discharge. It is a toss-up, and we even draw a Spellbomb to get rid of their Flage for good. This looks like a wrap, even though there was almost no coming back for them before. Now they don't even have a possibility to somehow fill their graveyard enough to escape the Flage again. Let's just hit them. They are down to 5, we only have 2 cards, and we have a backup Flage in our grave. We won the match even though we misplayed game 1 by somehow skipping through our turn. 3-0, on to the next match. Match number 4, we are playing against Umori the Collector. I have no idea what will expect us. Our hand looks pretty great except for that we have 2 tapped lands, but I think it's still a keep. I don't know what our opponent is doing, but I already think it's pretty sweet, so let's see what happens. Opponent plays a Verdant Catacombs and grabs a Swamp and plays an Acquisition of Kozilek. So that means their entire deck is Soft. Okay, I am listening. I am listening. Opponent grabbed our Oslo Pride. Somewhat annoying, but we'll just play our Shadowy Backstreet. I will keep this Goblin Bombardment, and even though Voice of Victory probably doesn't have any real text against our opponent, because they are only playing sorceries, I still do like it, and they grab Urborg off of Sylvan's Cry. What is going on? Now let's run out the Voice of Victory. What is happening? And let's hope Voice survives. There's the Urborg and the Bloodchief says, yeah, they're probably just absolutely stacked with removal. Resentful Revelation. I know that one from my pre-release, and they just mill lots of stuff. It's just discard over discard over discard. I don't really know what's going on. I think I'll get rid of the Guide of Souls to fill the grave a bit more and hope to draw land. Maybe that's stupid because our removal probably is just pretty dead against him. I'm really wondering what their win condition is. Dreams of Steel annoying. That permanently answers our Flage. That's annoying. So far they are just looking like a rec deck without recs. Is their win con to just make us discard everything and then play Umori and win with that? They don't even get rid of the Flage, they just let us keep it. But I definitely think that our Fatal Pushes are dead against them. And they grab Umori to their hand. Let's run out of land and just play the Flage to deal some damage. Do they also run something like Go Blank to make us discard and exile our grave? That would be annoying. That would also be a good reason to not grab our Flage right there. Lair of the Hydra, that's a win condition. That exiles our grave. Even though it doesn't remove something from the board, it does answer our grave. Let's grab our last survey. Sephiroth. I do like myself some Sephiroth. Let's run him out. Fortunately, there's nothing to sacrifice, so we'll just pass as is. And our Fated Push, definitely good answer against Lair of the Hydra. Also is able to answer Umori. Opponent is a decent bit in card advantage actually because of the Umori they were able to grab. And because of our Fatal Pushes probably just being dead. Dark Petition. Just straight up Dark Petition. Okay, what do you find, opponent? I don't think I've seen that card in Modern, even once. They grab a couple coffers. What? That explains the Urborg. What is happening? And they just flashback the Resentful Revelation. Sure. Did they just grab couple coffers to flashback Resentful Revelation? Is that really just what happened? And we don't have any creatures, so our Sephiroth unfortunately won't be able to create any card advantage. That would be so good. If you had something like a Bowmaster right here to sacrifice some stuff, that would be so nuts. Was that really Dark Petition for couple coffers into flashback? I am so bedazzled. Mind Sludge. Discard a card for each swamp. What is this card? I guess I will discard my Fated Pushes? What is this card? And now something for 4 mana. Is it a removal for our Sephiroth? It's just the Umori. Sure. Now you managed to dodge our Fated Pushes and we just draw another land. So this Umori will actually go to town and they have 4 cards and the Lair of the Hydra as well. And that Lair of the Hydra together with the Couple Coffers mana actually is pretty scary. Another Dark Petition. Opponent is living a dream. Our opponent is living the dream. On this matchup I wish Sephiroth was Seasoned Pyromancer. Before I didn't really care. So you get rid of our Sephiroth. I dislike that. And they suspend a Profane Tutor as well. Let's crack one of our fetches. I do want to keep the other one in case we draw another Fatal Push so we are able to get rid of Umori. We just draw another land, so let's just pass the turn. I think with the Slayer of the Hydra we only have one more turn and probably this Profane Tutor will find something that will be able to kill us. I think this is just our last turn. They just animate the layer. Looks like it. Yep, so we're just getting hit for 13 by Umori and Lair of the Hydra. And we find an Oslo Pride, but that unfortunately doesn't really do anything because this Umori will still hit us. So, okay. Let's go to sideboarding against Umori discard coffers control. So we are sideboarding against Umori discard coffers control stuff. I don't like Fatal Push. I think Vindicate probably is pretty decent. And I don't think we have anything else. Maybe the Spell Bombs, draw a card. I don't really know if Bowmaster does anything. Voice doesn't really do anything. Let's just get rid of one Bowmaster and bring in Vindicate and Spell Bomb. Because Vindicate can destroy double coffers, I guess. On to game number 2. Game number 2, we are on the play, and our hand looks pretty good. Now I don't know what answers our opponent has, but he's probably filled with only answers. But he's mulliganing to 5 already. You guys can see it over there, but I can just pull it over here for a second. Mulliganing to 5 already. Let's make it fit again. Yep. And they do keep 5. Now against most 5-card hands, Ocelot into Ajani, into Flage is good enough. But with that brew, I have no idea. Like, he's playing sorceries I've never even heard of. Like, what is Mind Sludge? What is that? Who plays that card? Who knows that card exists? And they have a Bloodchief Thirst Power Outlaw, right? That's totally fine. I think I'll just run out the Bombardment for now. But I think with them already having used Bloodchief Thirst, they will have some problems of answering our Ajani. Let's just grab the planes, because we do have black mana into their Urborg. And let's hope that my theory is true, but they have it. Inquisition. Okay. Yeah, I could have expected this card. But landing the Goblin Bombardment still sounds pretty sweet, I think, because that also deals means lots of damage required for victory. They discard the boys, and they have the coffers. They do have the combo. And they have the second Inquisition. Okay, Now we're down to nothing. And we're just praying that they don't have a way to answer our graveyard. We find Sephiroth. Now that's also pretty good. I think I just run out the Sephiroth for now. Because it is a beta, and if you draw something else together with Bombardment, it might be good. They have a third land. So next turn they might be able to start ramping off with Kafka's Urborg. But if we just draw a Vindicate and we'd be able to answer their Urborg, that would be nuts. That's unfortunately not it. Let's just deal even more damage. Sephiroth and the Bombardment. Now our opponent is already down to 12, so that's something, I guess. They grab a Mortuary, so they don't have good cards right now, but they keep it on top, so that might be an answer for our Flage in the Grave, or it might just be an answer to our Sephiroth. They start ramping with their fourth land right here. They do have a Strategic Betrayal. Now that's absolutely horrible for us. Answers both Sephiroth and Flage, and they even get to grab their Umori to their hand. Now we are in trouble. Let's just run out the swamp and keep our survey up. And just runs out the Umori. Grab a Parlor. That's the Vindicate. I like that. And I will still get rid of this Urborg, because that way they are absolutely inhibited in their mana use. And now we might be able to top deck us out of this. I could have gotten rid of Umori, but I don't think that's the winning line, because they appear to have so many good grind cards. And we find a Flage, that's good, that's good. Even though we won't be able to escape her for now, because of this live-in basic swamp, we still get to deal a decent bit of damage. And if we just draw Arena of Glory. That's just it. Let's just draw Arena of Glory. We won't be able to escape now, but that's the land we want to draw of it. I don't want to draw the Arena of Glory now, but I want to draw it later. Opponent grabs another Survey land, is already down to 5, but they keep their card on top again. Don't like that. That's a strategic Sylvan Scrying. It already makes their stuff cheaper, right? And they find Urborg again. We have an Arid Mesa right here. Let's keep up our survey once more. We're just getting beat up by Umori. Please just play discard spell, opponent. Please just grab this Dead Goblin Bombardment from a hand. That's a Resentful Revelation. That's good card selection, not gonna lie. Especially for 1 mana. And they find Dream of Steel and Oil. Now they have another Flage answered. There's only 1 left. Opponent hits us for another 4. Rip a Theater. Get rid of a land. And we find Ragavan. Now they are only sorceries, so they don't have a way of getting rid of Ragavan if we dash. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. Opponent is down to 3, and we just find a land. That's unfortunate. But if we just get 1 more hit in, we can sacrifice him to the Bombardment. It is actually pretty close. Opponent will be able to flashback the Revelations to find something, and they find a second Cabal Coffer, so they have infinite mana. Mana is no longer an issue. They have all the mana in the world. They flashback the Revelation, and they have another Dream of Steel and Oil. That's an answer for our Ragavan. That's unfortunate. And they hit us for another 4. So we are slowly dying. Top deck another Ragavan. Top deck another Ragavan or Flage. Guide of Souls. Not what I wanted, but I take it, I guess. One just plays another land. They have a removal for our Guide of Souls, but we can just ping them. We're going down to 1 with the Umori hit. But there's actually a couple of lethal draws for us. Bowmaster is lethal, Ajani is lethal, Flage is lethal, Sephiroth isn't, because he doesn't trigger off himself. Or if we had an answer for Umori, he would, or if our opponent would have fetched. Do they have a removal for Sephiroth? They probably do, right? Shadow's Verdict. That's a rough one. GG's opponent. Put our opponent down to 1, and we get hit by Umori. Companions are broken. You've heard it here last, but even the fun ones that are left win against the best deck in Modern. Crazy. On to the last match. Unfortunately not fighting for the trophy, but losing against Umori, I can live with it. Match number 5. We have Ocelot, Goblin Bombardment, Swordsey's Voice, sweet interaction, good removal, good threats, absolute keep. Now we're not playing against another companion, so who knows what they are up to. That's Blooming Marsh, so probably some Bloomy Marsh, Raven's Crag. What is happening? What is happening? Let's just get rid of the land, I guess? What is happening? First is Umori deck and now Bloomy Marsh into Raven's Crag. What? I think I'm losing my mind. I must be hallucinating heavily right now. I mean, I have a really crazy sunburn from being outside earlier too long, so maybe I also have a heat stroke. I think that's the most likely answer, because it can't be happening that we're playing against Umori and then against a Blooming Marsh Raven's Crag deck right after. And they just flash back the Raven's Crag. I'll discard my Swordseize. I don't think I need to keep Swordseize against the Raven's Crime deck that just Raven's Crimes me over and over again. Turn 2 has cast 3 spells. All 3 have been the same Raven's Crime. What? Now they play a Boseiju. That doesn't cast Raven's Crime opponent. You probably have done something wrong right here. Not sure if you noted that, but that doesn't tap for black mana. And there's the Raven's Crime again. Let's discard the Goddess Shrine. Is this again the Raven's Crime? It's again the Raven's Crime. What the fuck? What the fuck? I guess we still do hit our opponent really hard, but unfortunately not as hard like if we had this bombardment, because then our opponent would have almost dead. And we have a dead fated push here. For some reason I don't think that there is any target for the fated push in that deck. There is. I was wrong. The opponent just played a Fulminator Mage. We definitely do have targets for it. Fortunately we won't have enough energy, but this is the thing. If you stack it like this, we do make our energy beforehand. I just swing like this. I don't want to sacrifice my Ocelot right here. Opponent gets rid of one of our cats. It's unfortunate, but okay. And I could fatal push the Fulminator Mage right now. Let's just do it. Like, they have 6 through. Perfect. And oh, that would have been a better target for our push. But our opponent still probably is just dead right here, so I don't really care too much. They're definitely keeping Ajani. Let's buff our Voice of Victory, a big ass flyer, and we have the City's Blessing, and we will create token copies of this warrior token if our opponent doesn't block them. Opponent should have blocked the warrior token right there, because we will make copies of them that persist and don't sacrifice. Yep. Opponent didn't know the Ocelot Pride Voice of Victory interaction, and they are down to 1 card. They do have the white, but yeah, they screwed up. What is going on? Onto sideboarding. Sideboarding against Golgari, Raven's Crime, Land, Shenanigans with White of Belicray. Yep, that's actually what we're playing against. I don't think I need my thought readers. Those look pretty bad. I think I grab my Clarion Conquerors, because for some reason I think there might be some more activated abilities. They do have the Fulminator Mage, they do have the white. I also grab the Trespasser to keep their graveyard clean and keep them honest. And I also grab the nice Bad Bomb. My cuts probably are just 2 of the Bowmasters. Don't really have too many targets. They don't seem like a deck that draws cards. So let's try it like this. Game number 2 against the pile our opponent presented to us. We are really threat-light. But I have an answer to the white, and I do have Clarion Conqueror that stops with shenanigans, so I will actually keep this. Because of opponent just Raven's Crimes as I can, let's just discard lands. And our opponent is mulliganing, so opponent will to 6. I still think, especially because there will at the very least be a game 3, I'm still comfortable with keeping this. We draw a Flage, I don't hate that. But let's just run them after that and grab a Surveil most likely. Or maybe we'll just fatal push a white if they play one. Opponent just grabs the second Underground Mortuary. Now all those lands without Raven's Crime suddenly don't really do too much. Let's grab a Rausch's Theater, another land. Let's just play tap Blood Crypt. Make our opponent think we don't play white. They have not seen white cards game 1. Definitely didn't happen. Maybe I should also make a big alarming opponent had a 4th of despair for our Clarion Conqueror. Now today I've seen everything. And that's like a street race, because why the hell not? Obviously they are playing Street Wraith in that deck. And Gem Razor. I'm out of words. I can't even... I can't. That's just what it is. The opponent grabs Nurturing Peatland of the Upside Wayfinder. Okay. And they have a Birds of Paradise. Sure, opponent. Yes. They're down to 1 card, luckily enough. So I hope there's no answer to our second Clarion Conqueror. What is this pile? Like, come on, I've seen bad Golgari decks, but that just looks horrible. Not to shame anybody here. Everybody is entitled to play their favorite trash pile all the time. I don't mind, but if I play a trash pile that I enjoy, it's something like Omnath, Taken Turns, and they find a Fatal Push. So this Grist actually will be pretty tough to deal with now. I will use my Fatal Push on this Birds of Paradise now, I think. Oh, this Grist will be pretty annoying. I mean, we do have Flage and Bombardment next turn, so we will deal 3 damage to Grist and kill one of their token, I think. And they mill a white, okay. And they unearth the white. There's also unearth, yes, because obviously there's also unearth. But we're just losing to that because I used my push right there, okay. So that's just what's happening. Let's run out the Bombardment. Let's play Flage and make it so that Grist doesn't ult and just kill us. And let's also kill one of the tokens so we don't grow the white any further. Or is there even any really good lands that can tutor off the white in Modern? I don't think there's anything impressive. I think I'm just fine. They do have 1 card. This Grist is only at 4 now, so escape with Flage and shoot with Bowmaster actually is pretty sweet. So let's do that. We escape off Flage, shoot Grist again. And then we play the Bowmaster to kill the Grist. We also have some way to chump block this white. And we have different colors, so we are not just screwed to the protection land. I hope that they just hardcast another Force of Despair. We're just dead. Yes, we just died to the Force of Despair. So the second one. Okay. On to sideboard. Sideboarding against the Golgari Pile. I like the way I bought it. I'll keep it as it is. Let's run it back. I will go first this time. And we do have some 1-drops. Nice. We play 1-drops in this deck actually. I almost forgot. Let's start off with the Guide of Souls. I can't believe that I just died to the second Force of Despair. They will accelerate, but we do find a Graveyard Trespass. Nice. For now I'll just run out Ajani. Go white forward. And hit them with the Guide of Souls. Opponent plays a certain Wayfinder, and they grab a Boseju while milling 2 Fiend Artisans. Unearth would be kind of annoying, and they have an Unearth. Why do I jinx myself all the time? Why do I keep doing this to myself? But we find an Ocelot right now, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Now let's play Ajani first. Hope our opponent doesn't Force of Despair again, so I'll keep the new Ajani. Make loads of energy, flip the cat boy, and now we run out the Ocelot Pride and uptick our Ajani. So going with the Guide of Souls. Oh no, I'll actually go in with the Cat Warrior and buff that one. Deal some more damage. In case our opponent has a Force of Despair, the Cat Warrior token would even survive. And they just scoop it up. Okay, nice. That was a quick one. Deck was great. Let's quickly move to the recap. We are back here, so now let's see how it went. I think I really liked the list. The list was pretty clean. Sephiroth was decent. I did not really miss anything right now, but our matches also were pretty weird. Like, who expects to play against Umori and this weird Golgari Pile? But still, Fatal Push was pretty nice. The only real downside for the Fatal Push, Sword Seizures didn't really come up. Could possibly be something else. Could possibly be Static Prisons. But without Galvanic Discharges as additional energy, I don't really like Static Prison. So I think the Sword Seals still are fine. Sephiroth was good when we got to use him, but we never were able to really pop off with him, except for the one time where our opponent just scooped. Orcish Bowmasters are tokens. Instant speed threats, always nice to have. But I'm not sure if we need the full playset. Maybe we can shave on Bowmasters to fit something else then, because I do have the feeling that this list runs out of steam quite a bit. So there's maybe a world where we shave on the Sword Seizures and play like 2 Seasoned Pyromancers maybe, or Fabulous Mirror Breaking, maybe even Josh Lee. You could cut like these 3 cards seem trimmable to me, that there could be something else. What exactly, I don't quite know. Also our mana base definitely needs some working. The problem is that right now people play so many Harbinger of the Seas and so many Blood Moons with their Other Saga because it's a rules change right now, and it's a fancy thing to do, and it's strong to do. Like, people are not wrong to abuse this rules change that you have. It's absolutely horrid. don't want to play it, but I feel like it's necessary to do so. With the Sword Seizers, I do prefer to Goddess Shrine, but when you cut the Sword Seizers, I think a second Sacred Foundry over the second Goddess Shrine also probably is good. Otherwise, the sideboard felt pretty nice. Maybe the Vindicate could just be Molten Rains for damage against Eldrazi. We did not face Eldrazi, so I'm not quite sure. But this sideboard definitely can be a decent starting point. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.